And recently, your government or the Alberta government has passed a regulation related to the affordability for Albertans.
When we have an increase of cost of living, especially at such a dramatic rate, there's some things that we can do, and we felt this was the best way to put money into people's hands so that they can be able to afford to buy the necessities of life, basically.
Good day, welcome to our Community Infinity Safety Awareness podcast. Before we do anything else, we would like to acknowledge that we are in a traditional territory of the many First Nation Métis. Alberta has expressed gratitude and respect for their land we use. We pledge for anti-systematic racism, and we pledge also for creating a safer Alberta based on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We always bring a topic which relate to the Albertans by their heart. Today we have Honorable Minister Loewen. He has been in politics for a long time. He has first election was elected in 2015, then 2019, and he became the minister on October 24, 2022. Thank you, Minister, for taking a time to come to the show and talk to our audience. So Todd, before we go further, like affordability is always a issue, or is a major topic which we would also, everyone affect and get impacted by. And recently, your government or the Alberta government has passed a regulation related to the affordability for Albertans. Would you mind, or could you please explain a little bit more about it and how it's going to impact Albertans?
Well, you're exactly right. We brought together forward a great affordability program. Obviously, with the cost of living rising so dramatically, it's been hurting Alberta families. There's no doubt about it, and so we need to recognize that. And so we come up with actually a multitude of things that we feel will make life more affordable for Alberta families. So one of the things that over the next 6 months, families with children, for each children, they'll receive $100 a month for the next 6 months. Uh, People that are on handicap programs like AISH and things like that, they'll receive $100 a month for the next 6 months, and seniors also. So those are, the families accepted. I think those are ones that are on fixed incomes, and with fixed incomes, when we have an increase of cost of living, especially at such a dramatic rate, there's some things that we can do, and we felt this was the best way to put money into people's hands so that they can be able to afford to buy the necessities of life, basically. Another thing we've done is we removed the gas tax, the provincial gas tax, so that's made gas cheaper, and then we have a natural gas rebate and a electricity rebate also.
So Todd, I just wanted to verify one more thing or clarification is $100 more. Like, so it's $100, not just only $100 is added $100 on the resale already existing payment.
Yeah.
And then second thing, when we talk about the rebates or the gas taxes, because when Mr. Kenny was a premier, he did it for 6 months. So is that tax rebate is for certain period or
Yes, so it'll be a complete removal of the Alberta fuel tax for 6 months, and then after that, it'll go by the price of fuel, depending on what the price of oil is. The rebate may be in partially or fully, depending on the price of oil. So that part after 6 months will be dependent on the actual price of gas in the end. So that.
and so Todd, my next question is like, everyone talks about the labor shortage. Everyone talks about the new immigrants. Everyone talks about the people migrating to Alberta, which will affect the real market, house pricing, everything, and the rental prices also. Now, there's so many because Alberta has advantage.
Yeah.
So when we are all these new people are coming, what government has planned for them so they are not lost in the whole process?
Yeah, so that's interesting too, because we do have a lot of people coming to Alberta, and one of the big reasons people are coming to Alberta is because we have jobs, we have opportunity for them. Some people are coming to Alberta to start their own businesses because we have a business-friendly environment. So I think that's why people are coming, and so that will help people not fall through the cracks, knowing that they have a opportunity to come to Alberta to get a job and be able to settle in their families. And there's a in some parts of the country, there's affordability crisis with the cost of homes. Where Alberta, we have relatively low-priced homes, and so that helps people get settled in easier, knowing one, they have a job, and two, that they have a reasonable priced living expenses.
And Todd, like now we talk about, environment, we talk about saving the earth and then carbon taxes and having a diverse economy. Now, recently we have realized Alberta has an advantage on tourism because we have beautiful parks, we have beautiful sceneries. So
Yeah.
as this has been already taken as a fourth industry generating income, what's your plan are as a Minister for Forestry and Tourism?
Yeah, so it's a good point. Tourism industry is a big thing in Alberta, and we hope to make it bigger because there's so many good things to do here in Alberta. And what we've done is, when working with Travel Alberta, who's the primary promoter of Alberta when it comes to worldwide, attracting people from around the world to come here to visit. Not only are we promoting Alberta around the world, but we're also making sure that when people get here, there's actually things to do, places for them to go, and things for them to see. And so that's been a change, and we're not just focused on kind of the usual spots. When we think of tourism in Alberta, we talk about Jasper, Banff, Kananaskis, Canmore, Edmonton, Calgary, and the area in between. But there's other parts of Alberta. We look at the far south and the Peace Country, the Fort McMurray area. So many things to see in those areas. And so when it comes to tourism, we want to promote the whole province and make sure that people coming to Alberta, to Canada, know that there's many things to see or do right across this great province. Lots of diversity of landscape and scenery. And we want to make sure that they know that they have the opportunity to travel all across this beautiful province.
Before I go, you have taken this ministry in October only. It's only few months, like not more than 3 months. In 3 months, what you think you have accomplished for Albertans or attract tourism?
Yeah, so it's a good question, actually. One of the things we announced here just recently was a new agreement with the Friends of Fish Creek and Fish Creek Park in Calgary. Of course, is visited by people from around the world, but it's a special favorite for the people in the city of Calgary. And so we have a new agreement with them where they'll be funded. The Friends of Fish Creek is a great organization with a lot of volunteers helping keep the area around Fish Creek, make sure it's keeps its natural state, and then provides activities for people to do when they come there. When I look at other things, we've developed plans. We're in the process of developing plans where we make sure that we do tourism development across the province from one end to the other. So there's a lot of good things there. When it comes to forestry, we've been working with, kind of the two main issues in forestry is wildfire fighting. So we're looking at that and how we can make that more efficient and more effective, and also working with the forest industry that's, harvesting the trees off the landscape, preventing forest fires by doing so, by removing some of the old timber, and then turning that into a product that can be exported. So there's a lot of good things that have been happening in this ministry, and lots of work to do. But it's been a pleasure so far, and I just look forward to getting a lot more things done within it.
All the best wishes, because like forestry, I have I don't know, Todd, or not. I am a safety consultant by profession, so rest, as you say, volunteering and doing this podcast is it become a passion. And I was involved as a camp person, camp manager for one of the fire base. And then after being there, when we always say preparing for the summer or the fire season, do you have any specific plan for the tourism and the fire, protecting the fire, the houses or the community?
Yeah, so that's one of the big things too. When we look at wildfire, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's well over 90%, and I believe over 95% of the fires that start, we have out before 10 a.m. the next morning after they start. And that's, of course, very important because the longer you leave a fire going, the bigger it gets, the harder it is to actually put out. So that's one of our focuses, because we do want to protect the landscape. We want to protect homes. We want to protect livelihoods. When forest fire goes through an area, it can affect all those things. And so we want to make sure that we reduce those losses to as much as possible. And again, when it comes to tourism, we want to make sure that that we don't have our tourism season and our people that are here from outside the country having to put up with the smoke and the trouble of a wildfire going through an area.
My next question, Todd, will be directly to you, related to you, I should be saying, and your future plans. You know that when we are in democracy, election is predicted is going to happen shortly or and after some time. You have ran two elections in 2015 and 19, and then if I heard correctly, the new elections or the new dates have already announced it will be somewhere in May or June of this year. As the election is approaching, as a government, what your plans are, how you are thinking, what.
Yeah, so no, that's a great question. I think our priority is to put Albertans first. I think that's the number one thing that we can say and we can do, and that's what we've been doing. And I think that's why people are moving to Alberta, and because in an election campaign we want to make sure that that we're focused and we can run on our record. And I think our record is pretty strong as far as putting Albertans first. You know, when we talked about the affordability, I think that's an important part. I talked a bit about creating that business-friendly environment, low taxes, educated workforce, reasonable regulations so businesses could come in and get started and start employing people. So we look at those things there. I think those are all part of it. We have a healthcare system. We're working on a lot of issues within the healthcare system, but we do have that, and we're improving things as we speak in that regard. So we have to keep the people in the forefront of our minds while we're working and while we're doing the work of government, because we need to make sure that we're taking care of the people's concerns, and that's our job in government. And if we can do a good job, then I expect that the good people of Alberta will give us a fair shake in the next election.
So my next question is related to my last question, which I just asked about the government. You have explained. What are your future plans? Are you planning to run? Where you are thinking are?
Yes, I do plan on running again in this election coming up in May. I look forward to that. The constituency that I represent is a great constituency in the Peace Country. Central Peace Notley is the name of that constituency. It's agriculture and small towns, forestry, oil and gas. That's the type of communities that are in that area. And so I look forward to running again in this election, and hopefully have the support of the people there. But I've had a chance during the leadership race to travel all across Alberta and talk to Albertans from downtown Calgary to the southeast corner of the province. It's been great to do that. It's interesting to note the similarities between the people in downtown Calgary and the far reaches of rural Alberta. They all have similar concerns with affordability, healthcare, making sure we have a government that stands up to the federal government, and so those are the same issues that I heard all across the province. And I think looking forward to this next election, I think Albertans will judge us on that.
All the best wishes for your election campaign. But before we end, Todd, I would request you if you can give a message to our viewers.
You know what? I think the main message is we're here for Albertans. We're here for families. We appreciate your community and the communities all across this great province, and appreciate their input. When it comes to government, I always say that I never have learned anything while I was talking. I've only learned things from listening, and so I enjoy listening to the people of Alberta express their concerns. That's how we know what's happening. I think we were given one mouth and two ears for a reason. We should spend more time listening and less time talking. So again, encourage the people of Alberta to reach out and express their concerns and their ideas with their elected representatives. That's all part of democracy. But again, appreciate your community and what you've done for the province of Alberta, and look forward to that going ahead.
Thank you, sir. All the best wishes. You're watching our Community Infinity Safety Awareness podcast. To encourage us, to support us, please like our podcast and click on the bell icon for subscribe and keep watching our show. Thank you. Stay safe.